Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Wokey, and I'm back with another fake Grand Order video. And there's only, I guess by the time you see this video, it might actually kind of depend. Not 24 hours, but around almost a day. When do I usually upload? I don't know. The lotto is going to be ending soon in the Ilya event, so I figure one last video, hurrah, before I have to start doing other things that are not related to the lotto. So I'm going to be going in with this team. As you can see here, I guess I can show my current progress. I think I'm pretty close to just ending. Because my current lotto amount is about, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot. 107,978. Which is a lot. I really hope they fix the glitch that they got going on. Which is really bad. If you don't know what the glitch is, I guess I can show it right here real quick. If you type in the 100 code and you try and do it really quick, you can freeze the game really easily. Let me see if I can get it to activate. I guess I can. Maybe I'm just lying. There it is! Here you go. So it freezes. I can't do anything on this screen. The way to stop it is that you head back. It usually happens after any 100, and then it will just kind of do this and it locks in. So I'm hoping we get some kind of tiny patch when this event is over, but I'm thinking no.
If you spam the 10 enough, the item pictures will begin to overlap.
Yeah, that's if it happens even on the younger. That's basically it's basically like an integer overload or something. But yeah, it's currently. Let me just pause it and we'll get back to grinding. I just wanted to show it just to show you what I'm talking about with this glitch. It's very weird. I hope they fix it. But anyway, let's get into the actual battle. Okay, yeah. So this is the team I'm using for the final moments here. As you can see, I have 2, 4. I mean, I can just show it on the bonus. I have plus 10 going on from the command code. No, the CEs. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Because there's 5 of them. I could get up to plus 12 if I'm able to get 4 more CEs to drop, but I really doubt it at this point. And I wanted to use this team because it's a good way to get my girl here, Cuckoo, to get a little bit more bond points, as those are gonna start to matter a little bit more going forward. And also, it makes Arash get a little bit more stuff so he can get to Bond 11. Same is true for Vitch over here, who's also very close to Bond 11. And my Oberon already went to Bond 11, but he's starting to go 12. And Mary Anning is just kind of in the back, trying to get to 10 as well. So that's the thing I'm going to be using for this video. Feel free to tell me what you've been using and stuff like that, especially as we wind down. I am going to release a video... I don't know, it'll probably be another just, I'm gonna talk while I try and sort all this stuff out. So yeah, I guess just to show you how the fight is supposed to go. I use this, then use this. I use this turn 1. It's the only one I use turn 1. I use all these now just because I'll be able to use them on the 3rd turn again. So anyway, Arash can handle this no problem. So he just shoots off the Stella and then everyone dies. This is very easy. Boom. And, yeah, Kukulkan has a 200% damage bonus, CE on her. So, this girl is dead. She's, like, so unbelievably dead. It's unfathomable how much dead that she's about to deal with. As we go and do a little bit of damage. I didn't even need to use the CE. I could have actually won that through pure crit damaging, but I'm going to use this one. The super cuckoo punch. Yep. Punches them straight out the sky. And then go here. Now that brings them back, and I can use this to go there, this to go here. I don't even need to really use this. They're already dead, but just to confirm it, because I need to be able to kill my dude over here in the middle. Ozzy. I have to ensure that he's dead. And I don't need to use this, I'm just doing it to show the damage. So now go here, here. And then she'll go in and whiff the punch one more time. No one here is None of her bonus damages are being applied right now because they're not threat to humanity and they are not of the earth element, I believe is the thing she has bonus damage. That's enough to do 4 million, so doing at least 1 million to every single one of them in one go. Kukulkan, everyone. Her banner is going to be showing up pretty soon, though mine is again level NP5, level 120, double golden fold out. And as you can see here, I have been using my apples. I'm still above 200 golden apples, but that's only because I've been using my silver, my bronze, and my my other ones. I'm actually going to use these because I'm about to get a fuck ton of bronze apples, if I'm going to be 100% real with you, when I'm going through all this. Just an untold godly amount of bronze apples that I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do with a lot of them. So yeah, that's the basic thing. And we'll go in here and keep on going for it. So yeah, very easy kind of end of Lotto season, and I still have plenty enough for the upcoming raids and the other Lotto around Christmas time. Raids are a little bit weird because it's always nice to keep stamina on hand, but at the same time, raids just don't last very long. I forgot to do the thing I was supposed to do because I'm an idiot. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I don't think she even needs to activate the middle one, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There we go. It literally doesn't matter that I activate it at all, but I'm still going to go for it. Anyway, it's weird to save up stamina, because obviously it's a good idea to always save up for raids, just because you get so much of them and it makes the events so much easier when you're doing the raids. But if you don't, like, if you've never been for a raid, they just don't last very long. So, and the more you do them, the more they go away. So you need to, like, try and get, like, the maximum amount, but it's very likely that you'll end up, like, if you save, like, 100 golden apples, you're very likely to still have maybe 75 by the end of it, unless you're, like, hyper grinding to the point where, yeah, this is why it was a good idea to me, but it's fine. The reason it's still fine is because I can still go in with him and get it done. They're dead regardless of anything. It really is foolproof in every kind of conceivable way. Even if I'm half paying attention and clicking stuff, it doesn't really matter. She's gonna be able to do a fuck ton of damage. I'll go here. So yeah, I'll have enough for the raid left over and then the Lotto, and then it's back to saving, because I'm not gonna really use them anymore. I don't really have a need for a lot of them. I actually have to go back to the story, which is what the main thing I'll likely be doing when I get back there. Because I need to go through the story, because there's not much time before Ordeal Call starts, and I have to start, like, grinding. It would be nice to be able to catch up just in time for... I don't know why I scrolled down. Catch up in time for Ordeal Call's release, so I can start getting the 3 canisters and stuff like that a day, until I eventually completely fill it. And I don't think I'll be able to fill it out anytime soon. Even with all the new stuff that I'm getting here, I don't think it's gonna be very likely. It's like a slow building up process. I'm dumb. I shouldn't have done that. It's okay. Again, it doesn't matter, because... Why am I screwing up, man? There we go. It's fine. It's because I'm like, it's near the end of the Lotto, man. I don't know what to say. At a certain point, it's, you know, done with it. Just whatever. Does this still work? Yes, it does. I'm done being hyper efficient for the most part. As long as things get done, things get done. It's okay if I miss like 1 or 2 buffs. It's like, oh, it's not actually the end of the world. Especially with the 200% bonus. And maybe if I didn't have the 200% bonus, it'd be a bit of a different conversation. I was checking to make sure I remembered to get all the buffs from the first coin Skya. But it's not too bad. We live together in a yellow submarine. Boom! Destroyed. I did not kill it. I did skip out on something. It must have been me misclicking and not getting the buff. See what I tell you? Sometimes it's literally that's enough to completely offset the damage of stuff. But that's good to know, because if I did not have a Kukula card, that would have been bad. Because I would not be able to 3-turn it. At least now I can still 3-turn it. Even if it's a little funky. And just to make sure... There we go. There's no such thing as nothing as good, quite as good as Overkill. But yeah, I'm ready for the next stuff in FGO. I'm also ready to start planning out all the things I need to do again. I took a look at the look at that. I did 500,000 less damage. I've started looking into and preparing some other stuff that I have to talk about, like the thing I promised that I would do for that one person who asked for it. For the advanced quest, because I also need to get those done in time for anniversary myself. I need to catch up with the story. I need to think about what am I gonna do about talking about the GSSR. I don't think it's... Thankfully, this year is not that tough compared to the other years. It's a much easier kind of, like, choice, I feel like, because all the banners are, for the most part, good. There's banners that some people would just never touch unless they like the units on there. But that's true for basically all the GSSRs. But there's a lot of good choices in this one just because they're divided by years, and the years are pretty lenient in terms of stuff that are in it, so I don't feel like any... actually, probably the ones... There probably is one. There's probably one that's really good. But that's the thing, is I have to look at them and start making a video about that. And then I have to make a shorter version of that, and then probably make a shorts version of that one where it's about a minute long. Just like last time. Just to keep the tradition going. It's not even because anyone's asking for it. I'm just doing it because it's like, alright, I think it's pretty likely. When I did it last time, there was a decent amount of people who showed up for both. So I was like, okay, you know what? That means that there's enough people that justifies doing this again. So I will keep doing that way. And it's not like that big of a deal. The big deal is making the big one. The big one's the most pain in the ass one. That's the one I'm constantly re-recording. If you want to know how often I'm re-recording a video, pay attention to how fast I say, are you ready for another adventure? If it's slow, it means I just started recording and I sat down. If it's really fast, it means it's about the 7th time I've recorded this intro and I would like to get it over with already. That is the way you determine how long I've been recording a video, is the speed at which I say, are you ready for another adventure? 50 crit stars, baby. Not that it matters here at the end. Who's even talking right now? Oh, it's Coins Guy. Go here. I wonder if there's an apple limit. Like 1,000 apples? I know there's a QP limit because I saw that someone hit it. Boyo. No, you guys don't know who Boyo is. I know who it is. It's related to friend of the channel, Common. Good dude, from what I can remember. Very nice fellow. What am I doing here? Okay, yes. So yeah, there is a limit to it, but I've never actually achieved it myself because I've never gone that crazy grinding. Even now, I don't consider this that crazy grinding. There are people who get way more lotto boxes than me. This is like okay considering the box I have and everything else. Especially because I don't really... The only reason I'm even picking up a lot of this is that I saw the cost of the ordeal cost stuff. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to need a lot of backup QP, and then I'm also going to need... I'm going to need, a lot of these materials on the side here, especially bones. I think I talk about this every time I ever talk about bones as a material, but it's very annoying how if you have like 2 units back to back who really need bones, you will be out of all the bones even if you've been saving for 5+ years, because that's what I did. I had been saving my bones for like 5 years. I had maybe 300, 400 bones, and then all it took was having 2 units that used them, and I was completely out of bones again. It's just that easy to get rid of your bones. Because they need so many damn bones for everything that they do. So it's probably good for me to pick up some more on the side, especially as I'm going to leave out. I have to also check on the... I'll have to see. I have to make sure to keep a decent amount of them on hand at any given time. It's very annoying, but, you know... That's the benefit of playing on NA, is that you get to plan out a lot of this stuff. and be like, okay, well, how long do I have to plan this out and figure it out? I have a decent bit. So there we go. Get ready for the big serious punch. Talking about big serious punches, I've been watching. I've started doing. This is the thing I talked a friend of mine to doing because that I would say I would start doing. So as a child, I was wondering how it was possible for me to watch a lot of DBZ as a kid, because I was able to see over at least 100 to probably 200 episodes related to Dragon Ball, all the way from Dragon Ball to the end of Dragon Ball Z, not counting GT, because GT wasn't played on Tsunami back in the day for whatever reason. Now that I think about it, it's weird that they didn't play Tsunami. They didn't play GT. The only episodes of Tsunami that I ever saw back in the day, I had to tune to a Japanese channel that we had, and there was no subtitles. I was just watching Goku in Japanese talk to this guy, and I was like, all right, well, this doesn't seem great, but it is more Dragon Ball, so it was very interesting to see. But the point stands, I was able to see multiple seasons of that, including of Tenchi Muyo, a lot of these other shows, see entire seasons worth of episodes. Why can't I do that nowadays? There's a lot of anime that I want to see and a lot of shows I want to see, but I'm very bad at actually seeing and watching them. And I realized the idea is that it's structure. What I'm missing is structure. So I made my own version of what is basically Tsunami, where it's a block of episodes where I plan to watch them, and then when I finish one series, I finish one series or finish a season of a series, only because some of them have very long series stuff. So on the first short list of it, when I started it, was the first Super Sentai, which is Go Ranger, Kamen Rider, Gundam Zeta, which is a show that I was watching, but I keep starting and stopping multiple times. And then the other one that I rolled, because I have a list of stuff that I've been told to watch, or I said I was going to watch, and then I put it all together into a list, and I roll a dice to see which one I get, and I got Pluto. So I watched Pluto, and I just finished Pluto, actually. And so yeah, I plan to do that, and then once I finished Pluto, I replaced it with another one. Though Pluto also had like an hour-long episodes, so I was wondering, I was like, should I? Because usually if you watch Tsunami, I believe Tsunami block was typically, I think it was 6? Let me see what Tsunami blocks were like back in the day, because my memory is not the greatest. Tsunami blocks. Alright, technical difficulty. I accidentally went into the screen and broke the illusion of a full-sized FGO there for a second. My bad. Anyway, as I get this started up again, one more time go in there, and I go into Tsunami lineups back in the day. I'll look at these after I get started and people start shooting off their NPs. There we go. Let me start, because this important part is always good to hit first, so I remember, and then I'll start. Okay, so the first Tsunami block back on March 17th that lasted until January 9th, 1998. So from March 7, 1997 to January 9th, 1998, this was the lineup of Tsunami. It was Thundercats, Cartoon Roulette, Voltron, Cartoon Roulette, and then The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. So that would actually lasted from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., because believe it or not, Cartoon Roulette is not actually that long in the grand scheme of things. It was a very short show. So they were able to have multiple shows, but there was a lot more shows back in the day that were like 15, 10 minutes in length. So it wasn't like the most out of pocket idea for it to be there. And then let me look at the lineup where it starts to make sense for me when I start seeing it, which is the lineup that has Dragon Ball in it, or some more anime in it. Actually, funny enough, the first lineup that has an anime, well, it's not true, because there are some other animes on here, because there's Robotech, which is an anime, but Robotech shows up before Dragon Ball does. As does Sailor Moon. And I always thought Voltron was an anime, but apparently it is an anime. Okay, it's just easy to forget because the most modern incarnation of Voltron is the Netflix show, and that's the one that most people kind of think of as the main thing of Voltron, but it is a Japanese show. Alright, let me go and do the Kukulkan Serious Punch once again. Arigato. Okay. Damn, did it really take a long-ass time for Okay, finally, on August 31st, this lineup happened. It was Sailor Moon, Thundercats, Dragon Ball Z, and The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, and that's basically when Tsunami takes the form of the Tsunami that I remember, even though it didn't really look like the Tsunami most people would recognize, which has Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in it. And eventually when we get to like January 28 lineup, it's like Sailor Moon, Thundercats, 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Z. It absorbed the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest that was going on. You can probably see when around they probably got to be more popular as time went on. Not to say that it wasn't, it was pretty popular from the start. I remember, obviously it happened a long fucking time ago, so how am I supposed to remember it? But as a child, I just remembered the Dragon Ball was so big that when they said this character was coming, like when they announced that Trunks was coming, I already knew who Trunks was. And I realize that now, like, that's weird. How the fuck did I know? It's not like I had the internet. So it must have come from merch, because obviously Japan would have been way ahead of us at the time because of the manga and stuff, so they brought over and even then, when you look at our original Dragon Ball Z opening, which was Rock the Dragon, it featured footage from way later. Rock the Dragon's also fucking crazy, because if you look at Rock the Dragon, it has footage from the movies and when Nappa's attacking, and when the Nappa attack scenes start in Rock the Dragon, the quality in animation goes way the fuck down. Just because that was a movie anime, right? They have more budget on it. It only has to last for about an hour and 30 minutes or so. So typically what happens in those movies is that they spend a little bit more time making the animation look really good, especially because it's going to go in a theater. At least they did in Japan. I don't think they ever came over here until much later, like Battle of Gods and stuff like that. But yeah, you watch that Rock the Dragon intro and it's fucking crazy, because it's like, oh yeah, that's the movie, that's the movie, that's the movie, that's the real series. That's the movie, that's the movie, that's the movie's real series, and it's very obvious to tell when it's from the actual series. But I never noticed that as a kid, because I was just like, this is just a fucking rockin' ass song, and I'm hearing this, and I'm going, yeah, great memories. Let me quickly go do this, and then look back at the Tsunami lineup. So yeah, this is where my idea comes from, where it's like 4 shows. The only problem here is that with one of my first shows, Pluto, it's only 8 episodes, but every single one of those fucking episodes is an hour long. So it actually feels a little bit longer than most. On May 23rd, 1999, there was a lunar eclipse, and you know what they did? From 11:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Sailor Moon. The entire time. That sounds awesome, to be 100% real with you. And then there was a week-long Dragon Ball Z marathon, which was just Dragon Ball Z for the entire week. For Dragon Ball Z 20XL? What would that have been? Aired 4 episodes. During the event, a total of 20 episodes of Dragon Ball Z aired 4 episodes each day during the regular Tsunami time slot of 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Following the week-long event, a 4-hour DBZ triple feature aired on Saturday. See, this is why a lot of Dragon Ball fans can get kind of... What episodes even aired during this? 4 p.m., Nappa, the Invincible, Tien goes all out, and then he fucking dies, unfortunately. Spoilers for the Saiyan saga. He goes all out and fucking dies. Nappa punches his arm clean off, and then and then Tien never really recovered from that. But he recovered better than most. I guess Yamcha truly never recovered from it, but Tien would always show up randomly and do something cool. But you can't come back from, like, a man punching your arm off. Like, You as a character, you're done. I'm gonna take the bold stance here and say that if your character gets punched, his arm clean off, like there's no fucking sword, there's nothing, he just punched you and your arm came off, you're cooked. You're done. Like, please leave. It's over. You can't help us anymore. What the fuck are you gonna do? Nappa punched your arm off. You didn't even get to Vegeta. If he would have sent his ass to Namek, he would have looked at Dodoria and like lost a leg. Like, not even with anything else. But he eventually does show up, and he does actually like have a better, like, the moment with Cell and stuff like that. Not to talk too much crap. I'm making fun of Ten Shinhan, but I am of course doing it out of love. I love my dude, and I love the moments that he's had since then. But it's true that it's different from original Dragon Ball TN. Maybe it's only because I remember original Dragon Ball TN where he was like the villain and stuff like that, and he was fucking sick with it, and he learned the Mafuba in time after Master Roshi died, and he was like he was the Vegeta before Vegeta. Like, the idea of this person who kept pushing and making Goku be better, but then eventually Vegeta took over that. And then Piccolo took over that, actually. What do you mean you survived? How dare you survive while I'm talking about... See, that was the power of Ten Shinhan taking over Naito Chris for a brief bit. She heard the story of Tien and said, nah, I'm living this for him. Very respectable, but you're still gonna have to die. Go back in here and do my stuff again. Oh yeah, so this goes up to basically Namek, and that makes a lot of sense actually. See, that's how I'm like constantly watching it, because like it's like, yeah, here you go. No wonder I was able to watch so much fucking Dragon Ball. They played it non-stop. Like, yeah, no duh. All right, so here's now this is a lineup on May 29th, the day that they showed 3 Dragon Ball movies. We have 12 p.m. Dragon Ball Z: The Tree of Might. Then it's 1:15. You get some Powerpuff Girls. What episodes of Powerpuff Girls? That's a very good question. I know you're wondering what episodes of Powerpuff Girls could they have shown. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing which ones it would have been. And then after that, it's Dragon Ball Z: The World's Strongest, a fine film. And then at 2:40, it's the Powerpuff Girls again. And then at 3 p.m., we end this with the Dead Zone. Garlic Jr.'s up in the mix. The Pilaf voice actor voicing him as well. It's a hell of a thing. But yeah, this is that was my idea when I started picking shows to watch. And now I was feeling like, was it 4 back then? I just couldn't remember if they always showed 4 episodes. But now I'm pretty sure, yeah, it is. And then around the time 1999 happens, that's when they start doing Sailor Moon reboot, Dragon Ball Z and Ronin Warriors and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy to see how long Sailor Moon starts on this, but maybe it's just because when I was a kid, I pretended to not really like Sailor Moon, but I still watched a lot of Sailor Moon. But I was also a dumb child. I was a child! And I was very stupid, so I had to pretend to to hate something I actually liked a whole bunch. And then on February 21st, 2000, DBZ President's Day movie marathon. Celebrate the presidency with The World's Strongest, The Tree of Might, and Dead Zone. I watched all 3 of those episodes again. All 3 of those movies again to celebrate President's Day. No Powerpuff Girls this time. They said, nah, you're getting 4 p.m. World's Strongest, 5 p.m. The Tree of Might, 6 p.m. Dead Zone again. They had to have showed those movies constantly over and over and over again. And then for a brief bit, they showed like Super Friends and stuff. And then in 2000s is when you start to get Gundam Wing and stuff like that. I wonder when what was the schedule when my brother started to be born. Let me see. Let me look, because I just need to look in June. Let me see. Okay, so June, the schedule for my brother would have been... Feel free to look up and tell me what when you were born, what was being played on Tsunami if you were born around this time. All right, the June 30th lineup is the closest I can get to. So it was from May 8th to June 30. That's close enough to where my brother would have been born around. Sailor Moon, Reboot, Dragon Ball Z, and Gundam Wing. It's not bad. It's a good scattering of shows for sure. It makes a lot of sense. I don't remember watching those shows back then, but it might have just been because my brother was born. There were other pressing matters at the time, such as the new baby. And he was, for all intents and purposes, a very loud baby from what I remember as a child. Good kid though. I give him a thumbs up. Yeah, and then Tenchi Muyo hits around the 2000. I gotta look away from this. Just so I can finish up this video, otherwise this video is gonna turn into me. I need to save some stuff for what I'm doing. This would have made a lot more sense to look through it when I was doing the full, a Lotto detox, when I was getting rid of everything, but now it doesn't make sense. I'm actively making it harder for me to grind while I'm doing this. Alright, let's finish this off. But yeah, so I started doing that. Pluto, by the way, very good show. I really liked it. I already liked the manga of Pluto, the manga version. Not the original Astro Boy one, just because I can not find in good quality original Astro Boy. Because if you don't know, Pluto is based off of the arc from Astro Boy called The World's Strongest? Yeah, The World's Strongest or The Earth's Strongest something or other. And it's really well done. I think the manga probably has a little bit of a different kind of pace to it, telling the entire story in 8 hours. It does not take you 8 hours to read that manga, because there's a lot of shit to read and a lot of things to kind of go through and a lot of mystery. But I still thought it was very well done. Some of the 3D in the tornado scenes don't look as good as they do in the manga, but it's understandable because I don't think it's actually possible for a lot of 3D images to be as good as the 2D images a lot of the time. So that's the end of today's video, everyone. I'll be back hopefully with a new video tomorrow, and we'll start planning for some of the future stuff. But very again, thank you very much for watching, especially if you watched it all the way to the end. I appreciate it a whole bunch. If you made it all the way to the end, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help out the channel. And I do see that people actually watch these more than I thought. I thought there would be like 20 people at most, but there's more than 20. So I thank everyone for... I doubt that there's more than 20 that maybe make it to the end, but if you made it to the end, know that I appreciate you a whole bunch, and I wish you the best of luck in your Lotto times, and we'll start heading for the future. And if you're wondering if you were going to summon for Kukulkan, I guess if you want to check out her MP5, this is the best way to look at her MP5 showcase. Though I guess I have plenty of videos of Kukulkan if you want to see her do a buttload of damage. But anyway, the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.